Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Malevolent Manuscripts. Holly had always been drawn to the Isle of Wight, its rugged cliffs and hauntingly beautiful landscapes captivating her imagination. Little did she know that her inheritance of a set of diaries would plunge her into a nightmare she could never have imagined. The diaries belonged to her ancestors dating back several generations. As she began to transcribe them, she felt a sense of foreboding creep over her. The words on the pages seemed to pulsate with a dark energy, and Holly couldn't shake the feeling that she was treading into dangerous territory. The first diary chronicled the experiences of her great-great-grandfather, Jonathan, who had been a reclusive writer living on the Isle of Wight in the late 19th century. His entries spoke of strange occurrences, of whispers in the night, and shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. As Holly delved deeper into the diaries, she discovered a pattern of malevolence that spanned generations. Each ancestor had encountered the same sinister entities, described in chilling detail within the pages of the manuscripts. They spoke of creatures that lurked in the shadows, their twisted forms barely visible but their presence unmistakably malevolent. Holly tried to rationalize what she was reading, attributing the accounts to the superstitions of the past. But as she continued to transcribe the diaries, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her, something ancient and evil. One stormy night, as Holly worked feverishly to decipher the final diary, she felt a sudden chill in the air. The candles flickered ominously, casting dancing shadows across the room. And then, without warning, the words on the page began to blur and shift, rearranging themselves into a language she couldn't understand. Panic seized Holly as she realized that the malevolent entities described within the diaries were no longer confined to the pages. They were here, in her very presence, hungry for release into the mortal realm. Desperate to protect herself, Holly frantically searched the room for any means of defense. But the entities were relentless, their whispers growing louder and more insistent with each passing moment. In a last-ditch effort to banish the creatures, Holly grabbed the diaries and raced to the edge of the cliffs overlooking the roiling sea below. With trembling hands, she tore the pages from their bindings and cast them into the wind, watching as they were carried away into the darkness. For a moment there was silence. Then, with a deafening roar, the sea churned and frothed, and from its depths rose a horde of twisted figures, their eyes gleaming with malice. But Holly refused to be cowed. With a defiant cry, she hurled herself into the fray, wielding the remnants of the diaries as her only weapon against the encroaching darkness. As the first rays of dawn broke across the horizon, the creatures vanished, leaving behind only the sound of crashing waves and the taste of victory in Holly's mouth. Though the ordeal had left her shaken to the core, Holly knew that she had triumphed over the malevolent entities that had plagued her family for generations. And as she watched the sun rise over the Isle of Wight, she knew that she would never again underestimate the power of the written word. As the days passed, Holly couldn't shake the feeling that the malevolent entities were still lurking in the shadows, biding their time, waiting for another opportunity to strike. She found herself constantly looking over her shoulder, haunted by the memory of their sinister whispers and the icy touch of their presence. Determined to rid herself of the lingering threat once and for all, Holly delved deeper into the history of her ancestors and the origins of the diaries. She scoured old archives and libraries, searching for any clue that might help her understand the nature of the creatures that had plagued her family for so long. Her investigations led her to a forgotten legend, whispered about in hushed tones by the locals of the Isle of Wight. It spoke of an ancient evil that had been sealed away centuries ago, bound within the pages of a cursed tome known as the Malevolent Manuscripts. According to the legend, the only way to banish the malevolent entities for good was to find the original manuscript and destroy it, breaking the ancient seal and releasing the darkness trapped within. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Holly embarked on a perilous journey, following a trail of cryptic clues left behind by her ancestors. It was a race against time as she navigated treacherous terrain and faced countless obstacles in her quest to uncover the truth. Finally, after weeks of relentless searching, Holly stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed deep within the bowels of an ancient monastery. There, tucked away in a dusty alcove, she found the original Malevolent Manuscripts, bound in ancient leather and pulsating with dark energy. With trembling hands, Holly hesitated for a moment, steeling herself for the task ahead. She knew that destroying the manuscript would unleash a force beyond comprehension, but she also knew that it was the only way to ensure the safety of future generations. Summoning all of her courage, Holly took a deep breath and plunged a dagger into the heart of the cursed tome, tearing through the pages with a single swift motion. As she did, a blinding light engulfed the chamber, illuminating the darkness and banishing the malevolent entities once and for all. As the dust settled and the echoes of the ancient evil faded into silence, Holly knew that her ancestors could finally rest in peace. The curse had been broken, and the Isle of Wight was free from the shadow that had plagued it for centuries. With a sense of profound relief, Holly emerged from the chamber, the weight of the world lifted from her shoulders. Though the scars of her ordeal would always remain, she knew that she had faced her fears and emerged victorious. And as she stood overlooking the rugged cliffs of the Isle of Wight, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, Holly couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the strength and resilience that had carried her through the darkest of times. For she knew that no matter what trials lay ahead, she would always be ready to confront them head-on, armed with nothing but her courage and the power of the human spirit. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.